Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. One thing that's definitely kept me going strong throughout these hard times has to be the anime show My Hero Academia. What is that, you may be asking? Well, in a world where most people have a superpower called a quirk, teenager Deku has been born quirkless, but wishes he had one so that he could become a superhero like his idol, the #1 hero, All Might. When Deku's former childhood friend turned bully Bakugo is trapped by a sludge villain, Deku jumps to the rescue, and it's this bravery that inspires All Might himself to pass on his quirk one for all to the boy. But Deku will have to learn how to wield this immense power, or his body will pay the price. Deku then joins UA, a hero school where All Might is teaching, and Bakugo is also studying to become stronger. But Deku's class, 1A, don't always end up having a peaceful lesson, because villains keep trying to break into the school so that they can kill All Might and his students. And in this video, I'm going to be counting down my personal choices for the top 5 best episodes of this show. I hope you're ready. Plus Ultra, let's smash this! Number 5. Save the World with Love. This unique episode of the series features a group of students being put in a special class, in which they have to save some hostages from a villain in a jewelry store, only to find the criminal dead from a stab wound, and the teenage heroes must work out what has happened. There are many reasons why I love this episode. First of all, it's a different kind of lesson than usual, but an important one. Learning that not everything is what it seems, and heroes need to be prepared for twists in their missions. I really enjoy seeing everyone getting into a more intellectual challenge, pushing the students to use their brains over their brawn. Because being a hero isn't all about fighting, but it's also just a great mystery roleplay, with the teachers getting really into their roles by either hamming it up for fun or trying their best to sell the authenticity of the story. The students, especially the deep-thinking Deku, do their best to look at different perspectives and ask the best questions to the witnesses.
なぜヴィランは宝石店に籠城したんだろうって。だってそうでしょ。宝石が目当てなら奪ったらすぐに逃げればいい。なのにどうして。
それは私がヴィランに命令されて宝石を袋に詰めている時に警察が駆けつけたからです。
Even we as an audience can take part ourselves, by making our own guesses based on the information that we gradually learn. This is definitely one of the more interactive episodes to watch because of that. However, the cherry on top of this episode is the final twist, when it's revealed that the villain, enthusiastically played by All Might, turns out to have staged his own death in a getaway stunt. That is bloody hilarious. I know some fans probably don't like this episode because it was awkwardly placed in the middle of an important story arc, but personally, I find it to be really entertaining. Number 4. Let It Flow School Festival. In this arc of the show, the class of 1A have been planning a rock concert for their school festival, combining music, effects, and dance to create an entertainment spectacle. After stopping the villain team of Gentle Criminal and La Brava, who were trying to break into the school, Deku must rush to the stage to play his part in the show. Now, while this episode has less stakes than usual and centers on a more slice-of-life kind of story, it does have an important purpose in the narrative at this point. The concert performance serves as an expression of defiance and liberation for 1A to both critics of their class and the villains they've faced. A proud statement of who they are, how they've grown, and the camaraderie they share. Not to mention, certain students get to prove that they can balance their passionate hobbies with their education and future career. That these are not mutually exclusive things and you can chase as many dreams as you want at the same time. Heck, showmanship plays a huge part in a superhero persona because it's the key to building a relationship with the public, so the concert performance isn't completely irrelevant to their hero journeys. The stage show is also a moving attempt to help a little girl in the audience called Eri smile again, who was a victim of a villain in the previous arc that our heroes rescued and has since gained trauma from her abuse. Seeing how the excitement of 1A's concert plays a part in her healing process is just as satisfying as watching a villain being defeated to me.
最初は大きな音で怖くて、でもダンスでピョンピョンなってね、ピカッと光ってデクさんいなくなったけど、ブワーって冷たくなってね、プカーってぐるぐるって光って、女の人の声がわーってなって、私、わーって言っちゃった。
楽しんでくれてよかった。
Not every episode of a shonen series needs to be dark and serious. Lightening the mood can be a great way to bring humanity to our characters and give the audience a breather from all the intense fighting. I think this episode is an endearing change of pace for the action-orientated show and a heartwarming celebration of the spirit of Class 1A. Number 3. Katsuki Bakugo Origin. As part of a training lesson, Deku must pair up with Bakugo to battle All Might. In order to win, they can either fight All Might or escape to a gate without being caught by All Might. As soon as the lesson begins, there's this unnerving feeling of uncomfortable dread, because we have no idea how these childhood rivals will end up working together. Unlike other students versus teacher combat practices in this arc, this one has so much fierce tension behind it, because Deku and Bakugo have very opposite personalities. Bakugo is impulsive and focused on defeating All Might at all costs, while Deku is afraid of taking on his ultimate idol in a fight.
真心込めてかかってこい。
少年戦闘はまずい。逃げよう。俺に指図すんだ。
It also doesn't help that the angry Bakugo feels insecure about his quirks since finding out that Deku has improved his.
君が苛立っている原因はわかるよ。緑谷少年の急成長だろ。でもさ、レベル1とレベル50の力。 成長速度が同じはずないだろう。
Deku must learn to be more confident about landing a punch on his biggest hero for practice, while the other has to embrace teamwork in order to have a chance at winning. This is a really intense episode that made me feel anxious while watching, but that's what makes it so awesomely gripping. It's a more ferocious and off-kilter school lesson than usual because of the complicated ties between the students and their teacher. Number 2. Shoto Totoro Origin. In the sports tournament arc, Deku goes up against Shoto, a boy from his class who has an ice quirk on his right side and a fire power on his left, but he refuses to use his left side because it represents his abusive father, Endeavor, who wants to raise Shoto to be his successor. The fight itself is riveting to watch because both students are very tactical heroes, who use their wit and judgment to give themselves advantages, but Deku is more willing to put everything into the match, while Shoto is only letting his ice quirk do all the work. Deku is adamant to reach his goal of becoming the greatest hero and has promised All Might to prove his place as the next symbol of peace to the public. But he's also a very empathetic and compassionate kid at heart, a big reason why All Might chose him to inherit One for All. So it's really touching that Deku uses this fight as a chance to help Shoto overcome his trauma and find himself again, by motivating him to realize that what he inherited from his father can be redefined as his own flesh and blood.
君の力じゃないか。
It's a powerful message of defiance that victims of domestic family abuse can immediately resonate with, because many survivors do end up presenting aspects of themselves that resemble the parents that hurt them. It's the fact Deku is risking losing the match to help Shoto embrace who he is that makes this episode more than just your average tournament battle. It's also a demonstration of Deku's selflessness, the most important trait for a hero to have. Before I reveal my number 1, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks a lot. Number 1. One for All. This episode pits All Might against his ultimate nemesis, All for One, the originator of One for All, and the villain who gave All Might his scar. It's a rematch that has so much importance in the show because of the part it plays in the anime as a whole. It's not just a chance for All Might to try and defeat his greatest enemy again by learning from his past mistakes, it's also something more. You see, this is when All Might's true form is revealed on live TV for all the world to see. His original skeletal body that dramatically contrasts against his superhero physique. All Might is now at his most vulnerable, and All for One knows this. So the villain takes advantage of the number 1 hero by chipping away at his confidence.
方法はこけ目はくぼみ貧相なトップヒーローだ恥じるなよそれがトゥルーフォーム本当の君なんだろ
All Might must prove that this fight isn't over as he uses the last embers of his inherited quirk to win the day. All for One is a very daunting and imposing villain, especially because he's stolen other heroes' quirks and knows exactly what to say to crush All Might's spirits, while All Might himself is at his weakest and most exposed. So seeing this wounded hero giving his all is a truly jaw-dropping image of courage and resistance. Society is already losing faith in heroes lately. All Might's determination to win in spite of his state is his last effort at reassuring the public and a chance to end his career with a bang. But this is also a battle for All Might to stay alive, because he refuses to leave this world without finishing training Deku, and Deku himself knows this as he watches the fight on TV. Heck, seeing people watching the broadcast cheering All Might on, and other heroes trying to lessen the burden for All Might, shows that we shouldn't give up as an audience, and that the loving support of the #1 hero isn't easily surrendered. This is an amazing episode, and I don't think any will ever top it, because it's steeped with so much emotional weight that's rooted in the heart of the show. That is why it's earned the #1 spot on my list. So those are my picks for the top 5 My Hero Academia episodes. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section below. Cheerio, folks.